Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
So check it out. The D6 Squad has merch now. We got hoodies, tees, mugs, whatever you need. Check it out. Link in the description. What's going on, YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So, I just saw something that basically said that the Giants are bringing back Jason Garrett. Newsflash, I mean, we all pretty much knew this was happening after a couple of weeks ago when he didn't get those coaching jobs, when the Giants didn't go out and, interview people for an offensive coordinator position, when pretty much the Giants didn't make any moves. I mean, he wasn't fired. Joe Judge showed that obviously if he doesn't like a coach, he'll get rid of him mid-season, and that did not happen. We had a couple of coaching changes. Brett Bielema, Coach Gooch, he left. So we had a couple of people that left the coaching staff, but Jason Garrett is not going to be one of them. Jason Garrett, he's going to be back, and to kind of rehash this entire story. When Jason Garrett first came to the Giants, I was pretty excited. I thought that he would be able to bring what he did in Dallas for all those years as only the offensive coordinator, not necessarily the head coach. I thought that he'd be able to bring that kind of productivity to this offense. And this offense is predicated on sort of a power or, one-cut run scheme. That's what it's predicated on. And Saquon Barkley is not necessarily the back for that. So it just makes you think if we can really run this offense, because he's the bell cow. He's the guy who's going to be getting most of the touches in that running game. And he doesn't have that same run style. You saw Wayne Gallman come in. You saw Devontae Freeman come in and Alfred Morris, and they had success. Saquon Barkley, not so much. Now, that's not saying that if, holes are there, Saquon isn't going to be able to run through them. It's not necessarily the same as an Ezekiel Elliott, as a DeMarco Murray, as guys who just pretty much are ready to just shorten their career because they'll drop their shoulder and, finish every run as if it's, a 1 or 2 yard run, as if, they have to go get that 1 extra inch to get a first down. That's how they finish every run. And DeMarco Murray was ran into the ground. Ezekiel Elliott has pretty much been ran into the ground at this point. He's not really the same guy. So Saquon isn't really that kind of back. And then when you look at quarterback, Jason Garrett used to be a lot more aggressive, but I guess he feels he either doesn't have the receivers and he just doesn't take those shots. He doesn't have the 50-50 balls to Dez Bryant because there's no Dez Bryant on the team. And the offense pretty much runs, as far as the passing game, through the tight end. Jason Witten was the focal point of that offense. Now, even when Terrell Owens was there, Terrell was mad because Jason Garrett was still getting most of the targets. Now, that's partially because of Tony Romo, partially because, Garrett was Jason Witten was Tony Romo's favorite target. But it's also how the offense is designed. And when you have someone like Evan Ingram playing tight end, that's kind of questionable because you're not going to be able to run an offense through Evan Ingram. It's Evan Ingram. I mean, you can't run an offense through that dude. He can't catch. He's not really the best blocker. They ran a lot of runs behind Jason Witten his career. He's always been a solid, above average blocker. At times he could be an elite blocker at the tight end position, and we just don't have that. Levine Toilolo was supposed to supply us with that, but he ended up not even being an elite blocker. Our best blocker ended up being Caden Smith, who I think is probably our surest-handed tight end, which is a shame that Evan Ingram is on the team and we're saying this. So we don't necessarily have the same team that Cowboys team had. When you look at the quarterbacks, I say that the play style is kind of similar between a Daniel Jones and a Dak Prescott, or a Daniel Jones and a Tony Romo. I would say when Jones is playing from the pocket, he can kind of be like a Tony Romo. I think Tony Romo is better at, extending plays as far as knowing where to move and when to move. But other than just the movement, I think he has a similar kind of ceiling and a similar kind of, play style to Tony Romo. And Romo loved to throw up those 50-50 balls for Dez to go get. Daniel Jones loves to do the same, but for some reason we don't have those same sorts of routes, and we don't really have the personnel to do that consistently. Now, Golden Tate showed that he could probably do it consistently, but we don't really have anyone else. And do you really feel comfortable throwing the ball up to 5'9" Golden Tate or 5'10" or however tall he is? He's not a consistent guy that you will want being that deep threat. So we don't have that. Darius Slayton was injured at times. Other times he just looked non-existent, even when he was out there and healthy. So, where's that Dez Bryant? Where's that Terrell Owens? Where is even Miles White? So Sterling Shepard, I would say, is definitely someone who can fit in any offense, outside and inside. He's actually, I think, consistently been graded better as an outside receiver. But I guess because of his height and, he can run routes, people love to talk about him as a slot. He's actually also played outside, too, more often than not. But if you can, you're going to have to get Jason Garrett some help. And when I say get him some help, I mean, I don't think that Jason Garrett is that good. I don't think he's that good of a play caller. I don't think that he follows what Joe Judge preaches, which kind of makes me go back to the Maris, what kind of makes me go back to Gettleman, because Joe Judge said his first day that the Giants are going to find coaches who are going to get the best out of their players and use their players to their strength. Don't ask me what they can't do, what they need to improve on. Ask me what they can do, and let's focus on that. And we have not done that. On offense, we have not done that. Golden Tate was a consistently great yak receiver. He was consistently great after the catch. He was great on the screens. He was great on that. So you need him in open space. Why do we not get him in open space? I don't get that. Sterling Shepard, he's good. He's good at pretty much running routes. Anytime there's a kind of a complicated route, or there's something that's predicated on him being able to run efficient routes, he's usually good at that. We didn't see Sterling Shepard being really utilized until the last 2 weeks, where they finally let him run the full route tree, and he was getting open. So we didn't use him effectively that entire year. Darius Slayton runs streaks and posts. That's pretty much it. But when he's not doing that effectively, when he's not, doing it at the level that he was the year before, and, when he's injured, and he doesn't really, there's not much he can do. He doesn't have the Saquon threat. He doesn't have Pat Shermer's offense where receivers are working off of each other and routes are working, with each other to get him open. That's not really happening. So he's not getting those same one-on-ones as far as, his streaks. He's not getting those same one-on-ones, and he's not able to make these plays. And he's being guarded like a number one receiver. So we did not have the personnel at all. And the personnel that we did have that we might have been able to get something out of, we couldn't get anything out of. Dion Lewis. How many screens did we throw Dion Lewis? How many times did we have Dion Lewis catching the ball out of the backfield? I mean, let's think about it. We did not. We did not have him catching the ball out of the backfield. He was a complete non-factor in the offense. And that's a shame. It really is a shame, because Dion Lewis was brought in here to catch the football and complement Saquon as that pass catcher. We didn't do it. Saquon, I mean, why are we using him as a power, straight ahead runner? I don't get it. But Jason Garrett is going to be back, and we're going to have to deal with it. But if Jason Garrett wants to be able to succeed here, and if the Giants wanted to do anything positive next year, Jason Garrett is going to have to look at all of his mistakes. He's going to have to say, look, I didn't do this well. I didn't use this player how he was supposed to be used. I didn't do this right. Next year, I'm going to come in with a better game plan. I'm going to come in with a game plan I worked on all offseason. I'm going to install it, and, probably I think the offseason stuff starts in like May. I'm going to install it in May. Hopefully, we actually get an offseason this year. I'm going to install it in May. And by the time September starts, we'll have a new offense. And it doesn't have to be a completely different philosophy. Just throw some, variations in routes. Don't have all comeback routes all at the first down marker, or don't have all slant routes. Use some variation. Use some routes that the zone defenders are having to pick. Either I'm going to go with this guy or go with this guy. Like, use your brain. You do what Pat Shurmur did. Pat Shurmur isn't the greatest offensive mastermind, but he was able to get guys like Cody Latimer, like Benny Fowler, like whoever. I think Miles White. He might have been here. He might have been a McAdoo guy, but either way, we were able to get guys open because of the playbook, because of the play design. And I don't see that from Jason Garrett. So he's going to be back next year. We pretty much had that, set in stone that he will be back after we didn't see any movement. And we're going to have to expect, if we have any shot at the playoffs, because all our offense needs to do is be average. We can be, the 20th ranked offense. If we can put up, 25 a game, 26, 27 a game, that would be amazing. We'd be able to win a lot more games than last season. And it all goes down to Jason Garrett. So, sure, some of the blame is going to be on DJ. This is his third year in the league. There's no excuses at this point. I'm holding him fully accountable. They're going to get him the weapons that he needs. He's going to have the same offense. Sure, it's kind of broken, but you got to do better than 11 touchdowns. You got to do better than that, and you've got to elevate the team. No matter what's going around you, your third year, you're a big kid now. Pull up your pants. You're a big kid now, and it's time to get it moving. So Jason Garrett might need to go after this year, but if DJ does not step it up, if he doesn't bounce back, he's going to have to be held accountable too. So you guys let me know what you think of Jason Garrett coming back. I pretty much expected this to happen. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments. So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 Squad member. If you're a D6 Squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.